Welcome to another Taylor Newsbreak. I'm Carl Zymak, and today we're going to talk about a new cutting-edge technology in the city's 10-year agreement with AXXON. Our special guests are Police Chief John Blair, Lieutenant Jeff Admonson. Gentlemen, welcome to the set.
Thank you.
We have some play toys in front of us.
Yes, we do.
Jeff, you want to tell us what we have here?
Well, first, starting off, we have the large Matrice drone. It's the Matrice 300. It's by DJI. It is equipped with a large camera, infrared technology, and also a spotlight. The smaller one is the Mavic. It's also equipped with the infrared technology. It's more of a quick response drone. Up front is the fancy controller to control both drones. It's high tech. It's called a smart controller. So it displays on the screen what exactly the cameras are looking at. And then you'll also see the virtual reality glasses that we use for training in different scenarios. So,
sounds pretty cool. Jeff, you've got a lot of background that led you to this situation with drones. Tell us about your own personal background.
So for almost 25 years, I've been involved in model aviation, competitively racing RC models. My family's been involved for 50 years. My dad owns a business developing and manufacturing these models out of carbon fiber and various materials. So when drones first became a new thing, of course, we had to dabble in it. And so I've talked to Deputy Chief Hopper, and we discussed the benefits a drone could bring to the police department. And that's where it started becoming reality.
How different is it flying a drone than flying competitively with some of your planes?
Well, the drones are way easier. The fact is, they'll just hover. If you get confused where you're going, they just hover. Or my airplanes that I'm used to flying are over 200 miles an hour, so I have no hover switch for them. So if I mess up, they're going into the ground.
So the difference between flying a jet plane and flying a helicopter?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Something like that. John, how are you today?
Good, Carl.
Taylor's set to become the first law enforcement agency in Michigan with a fully integrated AXXON support system. This is a 10-year program, quite a bit of money, quite a bit of discussion in front of council. Why AXXON?
Well, Carl, I think the city sees that we have to be leaders and the best. They want us in front. Not only the city of Taylor, but the entire country demands some transparency. They also want efficient policing. And this 7-component system, which we've signed on for 10 years, $2.8 million, is going to be worth every penny that's spent.
This was a long time in the works, right? How much research went into going with AXXON?
Yeah, well, it's a top-notch company. We've been following AXXON, which actually was called Taser International, for many years, since the mid-90s, actually. They provided tasers to our department a number of years ago, and they introduced the in-car and body cameras, and we followed them since. But AXXON is a top-notch company, very well, highly thought of in the police community, and we knew they were the best for us.
Let's do a little deep down into some of the offerings of the entire package that you guys are purchasing. Computer-aided dispatch, what does that change?
Changed just about everything.
Okay.
Our old system was a Clemis, and we decided to switch over because of the benefits of what AXXON brings to us. Real-time, live-time report taking. We can have our officers use their body cameras, and our supervisors can watch what's happening with that. We have a talk-to-text feature to allow our officers to more efficiently write their police reports. There's many features with this that we think are going to bring us into the 21st century.
Let's talk about some more of them. Records management. How does this change your records management situation?
So we have an auto tagging feature. So if an officer arrives on scene, that the records management system automatically tags that officer in a database. So when we're completing discoveries and FOIAs for the judicial system, they can find all the videos that are related to it instantly instead of taking extended hours trying to find these. And the record management system also provides redaction software that is built in and a lot of automation. So it's a lot quicker for staff.
Interesting. And that all has to do with kind of an auto-transcribing issue, because common knowledge is that policemen spend an inordinate amount of time on paperwork, correct?
Correct. So with the new features of the Body Camera 3, it dictates the information you're hearing on the actual body cam audio. So we'll have the audio playing, and we also have the transcribed narration of what's going on. And then the officer can copy that right to the report when he wants specifics, and he can go back and audit that. It's a very, very fast and easy system to use.
What does this have to do with interview room evidence and things like that? I know this is all keyed into that.
Yeah, part of the package deal with AXXON allows us to have our interview room where we speak with our people. It's fully taped. It directly is integrated into the system, so there's no problems with that at all.
Okay, and makes a lot easier, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Currently, the system we have, we're taking video from the interview room. It's a third-party software, so we have to convert that and ingest it into AXXON. It's just more man hours.
Use of force is a big issue, topical issue right now across the country. How does this play into it?
Well, that's one of the components that we really like with AXXON. The taser feature we've used for a number of years. However, recently they've come up with the virtual reality, which is part of the goggles that are in front of us. It allows our officers to be put into a scenario where very safely can be remedied, but it gives them that real life training. So taser is a de-escalation device. People don't understand that. It's obviously less lethal. It's another step from actually having to pull your firearm. So it's a good thing. It's very progressive.
Now this system behind the scenes when it comes to dispatch and things also branches out into fire, correct? What advantages do we have there? Because I know that Chief Portis in front of council was very blunt in saying this is the system that he wanted.
So the fire portion is the CAD fire portal. It allows him to search the same type of things we can search at our end. The search functionality is a lot better on AXXON fire dispatch than he's been having with the Clemens dispatch fire side. He's been having a lot of time, trying to get some of their software to coordinate and talk to each other, where the AXXON software will talk to each other, and it's a lot better efficiency-wise for the fire department.
I see. I know when you folks were in front of council, Deputy Chief Hopper was very blunt in his assessment of sometimes when you guys are in foot patrol, hopping over fences, cutting through yards, those kind of things. Sometimes the people that you're talking to, you don't even know where you're at times. And this system really does efficiently track the officer who's out on the job, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. The body cameras have a GPS feature in there, so even if the officer doesn't know where they're at, again, we can activate that camera. For some reason they forgot to turn that on. We can see exactly where they're at and what they're seeing. So huge feature. If an officer becomes disabled, disoriented, we can find them instantly.
What about virtual weapons training? I think I know what that is, but I'm not sure.
The virtual weapons training is going to go back to the VR goggles.
Okay.
And there's a multitude of different scenarios, from mentally disabled to violent situations, and they keep upgrading those scenarios. And we'll be getting the latest updates every month from AXXON. So when we do our annual training with the tasers to recertify, we can play the new updated scenarios to get all the officers trained on those.
Now, when you originally went with AXXON, you went with body cameras for the first time. You restocked your vehicles with cameras. You went with the tasers. How's that program? I know you were very excited about that program. How was that program worked out over the course of what's it been, about a year and a half now?
2018, City Council approved.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's unbelievable. Time goes
flies.
by. Yeah, it's incredible how fast all this stuff. But 2018, we started with the 3 component of the system: the in-car, the body camera, and the tasers.
Okay.
So we saw a dramatic improvement on our efficiency, being able to track things, and the transparency. So.
The on the victim citizen side, how does this whole system improve what you guys are doing?
Oh, it's excellent. There's a feature on this new system that allows people, if you're a victim of a crime, you can forward us immediately the video, any Ring or any other doorbell camera you may have. You can integrate pictures into it. It really helps us out. The efficiency is incredible.
This is the victim portal portion of it?
It's called AXXON Citizen.
Okay.
So what the officer does, will give them a text message, basically from their phone, and that text message is a URL link, and they click on that, and they can upload videos, pictures, anything that's relevant to that case. Also going along with the Facebook. If we have something we're looking for a suspect, and we can put the notes of what we're looking for along with a URL link, and citizens can go onto that URL link and upload ring camera footage of that time of what we're looking for, which might help us solve a crime.
Oh, that's fantastic. You guys were already, when it comes to all of the support that you're going to get from AXXON now, this was all, much of it was there, not all of it, okay, because this obviously improves on the system that you have, but much of it was there through Clemis and things like that. Can you discuss, is it just as simple as one-stop shopping, or is there more to it than that?
Yeah, I think there's much more to it.
Okay.
One-stop shopping is very attractive to us as well, as opposed to running to many vendors if you have problems. We like to go to one place. There are many features. I just think about, for me, a lifetime thing where our supervisors can watch and see what our officers are seeing as it's happening. The safety features that are built into this are incredible. Accountability. Everybody wants accountability. They want to know what's happening with your officers. What are they doing? And I think this system is head and shoulders above what we had before.
Well, that's fantastic. What about the specific cost factors of the decision? I know that you really hammered away at that. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah, absolutely. I know the $2.8 million is shocking to some people, but again, that's over a 10-year period. We were paying multiple vendors for our current system and not receiving the same benefits. So this actually is a cost savings, if people will believe that. It actually is. We broke it down for City Council. And over that 10-year period, locking in that price is huge. We don't know what these other vendors are going to charge 3, 4, 5, 10 years from now. We do know what this price is. It is locked in. It will not change. We have signed that contract.
And when you're the other factor is that some of these contracts were coming back up, and they were going to increase, correct?
And we actually saw that happen in the last month. Yes.
Right, exactly. I also understand that there are some interesting safety valves should the integration of this system fail. Okay, let's say that you guys go 6 months down the road and you find out that, whoa, we can't do this. Okay, now that's probably not going to happen. Okay, great chance not going to happen. But you do have outs here, right?
Absolutely. There's a safety valve clause in this. If the system does not work, the city of Taylor pays nothing. So there's no risk for us. The only risk we're taking is giving them an opportunity to bring us what we feel is a state-of-the-art system.
Jeff, can you address some of the other technology that's behind this, like E-Citation, E-Crash, virtual reports, citation services, iCare, those kind of things?
So a lot of that's what we have now. It's just we're making it better. LexisNexis is going to be doing the E-Crash, E-Citations. The online reporting is something that we went with Clemis recently during the COVID crisis. We activated an online reporting system for the citizens. LexisNexis does the whole United States, tons of customers, nothing but good things, and it looks like LexisNexis and AXXON will become partners here shortly. So that's another potential money saver. The E-Citations, we use the same thing now, so that's nothing different. What the main thing is the search ability and the records department to be able to search those citations will be so much easier. That's the problem when we're searching reports or searching citations. It's very cumbersome. Right now, the way AXXON has it logged and the way they tag stuff, it's a lot easier for personnel to find those things.
Bringing you into the modern day.
Absolutely.
Efficiency.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, correct.
There's no
We're trying to do more with less people.
Right. And you're not really looking to have that many more less people here, right? You're actively seeking officers, correct?
You guys want to come out? Come on out. We're always looking to hire.
How difficult is it, John? I know you and I talked about, a month ago about this?
Yeah, we're fighting a couple of battles. One, some of our seasoned officers are retiring, and others are looking for greener pastures. They may move out of the area. Frankly, they don't want to put up with the hustle and bustle of the cities. They're looking for a little bit slower pace. We're being challenged in everything we do, and some of us just have had enough and have decided to change career fields. We don't want that to happen. We want people to come out.
Yeah, there's just so much pressure in this current era of law enforcement. It's very difficult.
Yeah, and I think that's where this system really truly shines. Carl, I've talked to you about it in the past. you see one or two terrible viral videos of police officers, and we don't excuse them. They're wrong. They're illegal, and we don't want them in police work. We want them prosecuted. The fact of the matter is the 700,000+ cops that are out in the United States have over 100 million citizen contacts a year. And we want to put out the true picture of really, truly what is happening. And I think systems like this will go a long way to showing the public that we're not these terrible monsters that are being portrayed at times.
Yeah, and it's very difficult with things like social media and things going viral and things like that. The immediacy of news in general can be very dangerous at times, you know, and there's no doubt that this doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, well, we want to use it, though, to show everyone exactly what is happening. Admit our mistakes and show our successes. And I think if you sit back and you're honest and open, you'll understand that the vast majority of us, the vast majority of times, are doing the right thing.
Is it tough for police officers to get into this new technology or not? I mean, I went through this as a newspaper editor when we brought in computers and the internet and social media and all that into the newsroom, and there was a certain the large majority, especially the young people, very excited about it, a spark, all that stuff. A lot of people who weren't young were not excited about it and weren't at ease with it and things like that.
I think it's actually a natural transition because some of the younger generation we have at the police department, a lot of them play these online video games. So, I mean, the controls on the drone aren't too far or too different from what they're doing on these online video games. So some of the pilots that we have transitioned from the online video games to this, and it's not too much of a learning curve for them. And some people on the Matrice, the large one, it runs off 2 controllers. So the pilot has one controller, and the camera operator has the other one. He doesn't have to be a licensed pilot. So you have some of these, we're trying to do the buy-in or the sell to the other to the department, and the guys were able to run the camera, and they're like, wow, this is just like a video game. And he was doing it for 5 minutes, and all of a sudden he took over as an expert with the camera system. So it's not hard, it's a natural transition for the younger crowd. The buy-in comes from the older generation, like, wow, I wish I had that when I was young, still running the streets and helping out, tackling these bad guys, because this gives you such an advantage.
I remember it was probably almost 30 years ago now. We first went to word processors, okay? The old floppy disks and all that, those were horror stories. But I remember an editor that we had on our news desk at the time, he was probably in his 60s at that time, and, put all these word processors on, removed all of these either manual typewriters or electric typewriters or whatever. The next day I walked in a little bit late, and as I'm walking through the newsroom, his word processor was on the floor disconnected, and he had his Royal typewriter up there, which was probably a 1940 manual typewriter.
Absolutely.
Yep.
But that's what happens.
You have to stay up with the times.
Exactly. Exactly. When it comes to the drone program, how many officers do you have involved?
We have 5 pilots currently right now, and then we need an observer when we fly. So any officer can be an observer. We walk them through what we're looking for, and we train. We usually have the same observers just because we've already trained them, but we have 5 certified pilots.
People don't realize out in the public who have a tendency to just buy a drone and run it up at Heritage Park or something, that there's much more of a process that goes into doing it the right way. Can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. There's the hobbyist license, and then there's the Part 107 license. That's what all the commercial pilots are, and 5 of us had to get certified. The hobbyists, they don't have the altitude restrictions that the licensed pilots do. So the problem we ran into at the festival, we had a lot of people that are hobbyists flying around the park. So not only are we looking for the hazards that we see, as a Part 107 pilots, but we're also looking for other drones zipping around the area, not obeying anything. There are rules that I encourage anybody who's flying the drones, get on the FAA website, Drone Zone, and read and become educated on how to fly as a hobbyist and doing it safely.
Yeah, especially near the airport.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you could get us in trouble this way.
Absolutely, you can. I mean, the FAA is always watching, especially around these large airports.
Since you guys have had the drones, how long have you had the drones?
We've been flying since May.
Okay. Any really good stories that you can share with us?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Car cruise.
Chief?
We have a really good story from the car cruise.
Okay.
He was out there for that, so we'll.
During the car cruise, we've had several reckless driving complaints, and the surrounding neighborhoods, not just on Telegraph, and the drone was able to clear those complaints by where they were positioned, flying over there, and leaving officers open to do other things while the drone cleared to run. Also, we had reports of narcotics being sold in an area, and the drone was able to locate the individual and watch the individual hide those narcotics in the vehicle. And we were able to direct the officers where this individual was, and all by the drone. He was about maybe a half mile away. This camera lens on this thing is just absolutely phenomenal. It's so clear, it can zoom in a long way and just give us real lifetime information, and it's amazing. It's like having another officer in a helicopter,
Which is amazing.
Yeah, for a fraction of the cost.
Right, exactly.
And we are using the AXXON Air program, so dispatch can see the same thing we see. I mean, the supervisors in the office can see it. I can log on my phone and see it. So, I mean, it's just great for a supervisor to be able to have that live time ability to make the decisions instead of hearing radio traffic and basing your decision off of that.
Obviously, when it comes to these large events, and we have some in Taylor, whether it's the summer festival or the cruise, okay, this has got to be really, really a big help to law enforcement.
Yeah, invaluable, Carl. I can't tell you how much use we're getting out of these. It's truly the eye in the sky. It's something we'll never, ever, we ever could have imagined we'd have. Like Lieutenant Admission's talking about, it's like a helicopter,
Right.
And with the camera, it's incredible for us.
Fantastic. Anything to add on the general program?
Yeah, I did want to point out and make an offer, an invitation to anyone here in the city of Taylor. AXXON is going to come right to our department for a demonstration. We're going to have a trailer sit right out in Preby Plaza on Thursday, August 26th.
Okay.
Please come on out, take a look for yourself. We want you to take a look at it. We're not only inviting the general public, but many police departments as well. Come on out. Don't listen to what I'm saying. Watch your own eyes and figure it out.
How long are they going to stay? What kind of time period are we looking at?
I'll pull up the time periods that
Okay.
they're going to send us. We're still
And we'll post that.
Yeah, they committed to a date, but the time period's still flexible right now.
Okay.
But they will be bringing a semi-trailer out there with everything they offer and letting everybody try it out.
That's fantastic. Well, it's been a pleasure, gentlemen. I think what we're going to do right now is we're going to do a little bit of a special presentation, correct?
Correct.
Absolutely. We're going to have our taser in action. I know a lot of people have an interest in that, so we're going to bring out Corporal Billy Schillingberg. He's going to take a ride for us, if you say.
Okay, that sounds good. And what I'll do is I'll sign us off after that over his prone body.
Sounds like fun to me.
I hear you. So let's do it. Chief, take it away. What are we going to do here?
This is going to be a quick demonstration. Now, this is just a training cartridge. Our officers, every one of them that carry a taser, has to go through the real thing. We actually have to have the real taser deployed on them so they understand the true effect with this. This purpose is really just to have the officers practice their shooting, so where they can strike the subject. So our officer over here is padded up pretty well. The only thing he's going to feel is like a paintball gun hitting him. So there is some impact, but he's not going to feel the electricity or the pain.
And you want to introduce him?
Yeah, this is Corporal Billy Schillingberg, and Lieutenant Admission is going to light him up. So,
Okay. Billy and you drew the short straw. Gotcha. Okay. All right. I hear you.
All right, so this is the new Taser 7. AXXON's had this one out for a little while. So we were going to display the training cartridge. So when I first initiate, the two laser beams show up on Billy, Officer Schillingberg. I'm sorry about that. And it'll show where the darts are going to actually make impact. Police,
Can you blade
drop
a
the
little bit?
weapon. Taser, taser, taser. At this point, he's disabled, and we will place him under arrest. This Taser 7 is a nice upgrade. It allows me to fire multiple shots. So our last Taser was only one shot that I had to replace the cartridge. This comes with 2 shots preloaded. So if I miss or don't have good contact or don't get the desired effect, I can fire a second one.
as well as also use it on a second subject. So if you did have 2, you could actually head that route.
And all of your officers that are out are equipped with the taser, correct?
Yeah.
A majority.
Majority.
Yep.
Okay.
Some of them haven't gone through some of the training yet, but yeah, our officers are all, for the most part, taser certified. So they all go through the full ride too. It's a very interesting experience live. So
Well, it sounds fantastic. And you're fine? I'm fine. No problem. All right. So for These police officers, Carl Zymak, Joey and Sam in the production room, we'll see you on the next Taylor Newsbreak.